Every time I see you, I think that I know you a little more. Like the world is open to me. Guess that I'm just a sucker for you. Every time you see me, I know what you think, it's so obvious. 'Cause your eyes are open to me. I'm just another sucker for you. Every time I see you, I know that I hate you a little more. 'Cause I'm just a sucker for you. 'Cause I'm just a sucker for
like steaks and other things.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Don't Hate Mondays. Well, what is Don't Hate Mondays? Don't Hate Mondays is a show to make your Mondays feel a bit more better. Because, like, if Monday starts with, like, don't want to get up and go to work, put the alarm on snooze, right? Like, hit that snooze, 15 minutes, 5 minutes, and it's like, damn, too late. And you're rushing out the door, and then you get to work, and it's stressful. It's the Monday-itis thing that goes on. But then you come home, have dinner, and you chill out, and we talk about movies. And that's basically what this is. We talk about movies. And today's show is basically with my guest, out of Evans, who is a horror buff and also a movie buff. Like, he knows a lot more movies than I do, especially like sort of like the
older movies. I haven't watched a lot of the new ones lately. I've been bored with most of the new ones I've seen.
So we're going to be talking about a lot of classic, time travel movies, especially in the sci-fi genre, because time travel always crosses over to horror as well, right?
A few of them.
Yeah. So first up, I'm going to look at a new one that's just come out on Netflix. So you guys can, if you have Netflix, you can go and check it out. It's actually an anime. So this one is called TP Bon, and it's interesting. I wasn't sure what it was about until I saw the ad for it, the trailer for it.
波平ボン。僕はこの名前の通り、何をやっても平凡である。だけど、何でも平凡って案外気に入ってたりして。
It's got a very old style.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
やっぱり間に合わなかった。巻き戻していくしかないわね。
死体がない。
私、タイムパトロールビームストリーム。
タイムパトロール？
タイムパトロールの秘密を守るために
君を隊員としてパトロールに入れることになったのだ。タイムパトロール？タイムパトロールの使命は
命を救うこと。でも私たちにできることは大したことじゃない。
誰かで区別することないよ。
私逃げたい。
みんな助けないんだ。僕だ。一人一人に家族があるんだぞ。
私が平気だとでも思ってるの？歴史を変える危険は絶対に犯せないの。
何があっても生き延びる。
あなたと一緒に生きていきたい。
思いするのなら泣くな。
I'm going to change what I am. Yeah, that's the butterfly.
それでも僕たちタイムパトロールは命を救う。
I smelled of like art and then also illustration, which is kind of like CG. So yeah, it just came out. So I was quite surprised because I was like, oh, what is this thing? And the next thing you know, it's sci-fi and it's right up my tree. But then also the fact that it's, you know, it is time travel. And like you mentioned Astro Boy and stuff like that with the art. What do you, I mean, it kind of, do you think it ages Astro Boy with that art style, or do you think it makes it better because of, you know, especially in line with this one?
I think every animation style ages at some point. I mean, if you look at old He-Man versus the new He-Man,
yeah.
I grew up on the old one, but I have to say the new one looks better. I'm just not too impressed with the stories, but I think it looks better. I think it's just, it's kind of part of the charm. It's just weird though when you get sci-fi movies with a cartoon style, like a light cartoon style.
Yeah.
Because I think of sci-fi as more Akira and Ghost in the Shell style,
right?
Like more realistic.
And that's what I enjoy, right? So like this, I mean, like if it's sci-fi and it's an anime, or manga, it's got to have that kind of like bit more realism. Something like that, I think it's more aimed at kids.
Yeah.
Because straight away you go, oh, it's like, it looks like, you know, Astro Boy. So you're like, it's Tintin.
Yeah.
You know, if you look at, you know, Western style of art, or Archie or something like that, which is kind of a bit more on the younger age. But then you put in, well, who do we save? And it's like, wait, hold on, this is a bit mature, you know, for the age group. And I think I remember like when I was thinking about like putting this together the other day, is that I remember having a dream where I went back to 1970 or like 80s in Mordor, and like there's my brother and I'm saying, don't do this as you grow up, and I'm like, oh, don't do that, or what can I change in my lucid dream, right? And then realize like you can't do nothing. And I think that's what really might have been the core of Time Machine, you know, the original with H.G Wells. I mean, like this went way back then. It's like, well, it's kind of like, how do we change the future? And if you had a chance, right? Do you remember the story about is it Siegel or Schuster, whose dad was murdered in front of him at their business because they had a clothing business, and the guy walked in and basically tried to rob them, and he said, "Don't, you know, take my money, leave my work."
No, I don't know that story.
Yeah, and that's where the story of Superman comes from, like they're wanting to save someone, and that's kind of a real you know, a lot of people forget that a lot of stories are based on something kind of realistic or something somebody had. And that's something I've been finding out a lot about from a channel called Professor of Rock. Have you heard that?
Yeah.
I mean, like learning about where that song came from or how that song came to be, who was involved, how they created it. As simple as somebody saying, when you get home tonight, sugar, don't expect any, when you get home tonight, don't expect any sugar, right? It's from Bachman Overdrive. And you're saying like the guy had walked up and he was going to take him out because, you know, this is during wartime Vietnam thing. And his girlfriend turns to the guy who's trying to beat the other guy, but you should be working for work. And if you get home tonight, don't don't expect any sugar from me.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty interesting, learning the history of stuff. And I find learning history to be very important, especially like when you look at Time Machine and you think that's the first ever thing. Did you ever watch the oldest one? Or
I'm sure I saw it on TV as a kid. I remember the bizarre, like it had a spinning umbrella on the back, and you sat on it, and it kind of looked like one of those swamp boats.
Yeah.
I just remember. So I know I've seen it, but I saw it a long time ago, so I don't remember much about it.
I don't think I
Pretty
saw
sure
it
it's been
either.
remade a couple of times too.
Yeah, we're gonna have a look at a couple of those. But I saw like maybe a month ago they were looking at they were searching for the Time Machine, the actual movie prop, and they actually found it. Like it took, you know, this guy had bought it, then he had to sell it, and then it was at like some sort of like was it Circus Park amusement thing?
Yeah.
You know, the traveling show, and then it was lost. And parts of it went missing, and then people used parts of it for something else. And then he found it again and built it again. And I was like, the history just behind like finding this one movie prop that is the center of this whole thing.
But then it was lucky it didn't get scrapped, because a lot of the Hollywood ones, they reused half their props.
Yeah.
Because they didn't plan ahead for Comic Cons and Armageddons and stuff in the future.
Well, that's a lot like Doctor Who, right? With all the Doctor Who film, all the episodes that just got lost. And we were like, one of our friends here in New Zealand have been able to find a couple of them and like actually gave it to BBC and got it.
They found some of the lost episodes down here. So
yeah. And I've actually talked to one of the guys that did, you know.
I mean, is Doctor Who a time travel?
Yeah.
But is it? Because he travels space and planets, and so that's a tough one, because I'm sure when it started, it was kind of time travel.
Yeah, because he went back to like the BC. Like,
yeah.
Like.
But then he's also traveled to
future
other planets, and
well, there's the face of Boge thing, like, which is, I think it was Nathan Fillion who does that, where like that's his skin face like on a big huge wall thing mounted. And he speaks, he lives forever, right? He's like the immortal man. And you find that he's like way back when, but here you are like about thousands of years in the future, and he's still there, and Doctor's there talking to him. It's like, so it is kind of like traveling space, but also space and time.
I guess it's space and time, isn't it?
So I think, you know, this whole, I mean, to see that like something like, I love time travel. Like I like the idea of time travel. I love the concept of it, and the whole it interests me so much, because it's a question of what if you could change time, right? That's what it really comes down to, is what if you could change time, go back and change your past, or by changing your past, change your future. Yeah. Like you mentioned, like a butterfly effect. I hadn't thought about that at all for this, but you know, the story behind that. So with Ashton Kutcher, I mean, that's very serious. Like that was I saw it in the movies.
Yeah.
You know? Do you want to talk about it?
I don't remember much of it. I just know it's based on the theory that if you go back and kill a butterfly, you don't know if it's going to wipe out half of humanity in the future.
Well, I mean,
it's a strange one, that one. But I mean, because everything you do has a consequence in that movie.
Yeah.
So it's not light-hearted like the famous DeLorean.
Yeah. So that's the thing about that. It's like I found like because I didn't go. I mean, I went with my wife at that time. Like that's like about 2004 or something like that, and we're down in Chicago. And this is when I was doing the film school, right? I didn't realize how R18 the movie was because of subject matter. Like I mean, like we, that's why like a lot of times I put a comics out, I put mature content because of the subject matter, not because of what you're seeing in the way of illustration, because of the subject matter. And that one had to deal with child abuse, like sexual abuse. And in a time travel movie, man, that was like freaking hardcore. It's not something you'd expect to be in a sci-fi movie to deal in such a,
No. I think it caught quite a few people off guard. I mean, Ashton Kutcher was Mr. Comedy and romantic comedies and blah, blah, blah.
Isn't that the one where like they said like they weren't going to hire him because of comedy?
I think so.
And they were because he was the comedy guy, and how could he do it?
70s show. He was a goofball.
So let me just bring up that trailer for that. Is it The Butterfly Effect or is it Butterfly? There it is. 2004. Yeah, I was right. It was 2004. I was trying to figure out if it was or if it wasn't, but it's such a unusual topic to cover in a time travel movie, like child abuse, especially sexual child abuse, right?
Yeah.
Because it's not something that anybody would think of like covering. Props to the guy, man.
I mean, usually time travel movies.
Remember when we were kids and I used to have those blackouts? Well, some of those memories have been coming back to me.
There are moments in life we choose to remember.
Do you think that we'll be together forever?
And some memories we can never forget.
All I know is that by reading these journals, I might be able to get Kaylee back.
I'd think twice about what you're doing. You could wake up a lot more messed up than you are now.
I haven't seen results like this before.
But what if you could go back in time?
You are completely relaxed. Think of it like a movie. You can pause, rewind, or slow down.
Could you save the one person that mattered the most?
Honey, are you all right?
You? Incredible. I lost you once, and I'm not losing you again.
I mean, you never lost me. What are you talking about?
You got a nice life. Just stay away from us.
It's been a while since I could.
What about Kaylee? Is she all right? If I go back to the beginning, I might be able to save her. Just tell me if you see anything weird. Weirder than this. Kid, you were happy once. With me.
Why don't you go back and save me?
How are you doing this? You wouldn't believe me if I told you.
You can't change who people are without destroying who they were.
Every time I try to go back in time and help someone, everything goes wrong.
Oh my God, what did we do?
You can't play God.
The Butterfly Effect.
I did all the voiceovers.
Yeah, it's such a. I mean, like, I've only seen it. I think I've seen it once at the movies. Then I went and saw it again in the video because I was like, did I just watch what I watched?
Yeah.
Because it's one of those. It did blow me away. There was a thing about this movie. It was really, really hardcore, and I think that's why for him. And I think I've got it on DVD somewhere because I've got freaking piles of it, and it's definitely my collection. I'm like, I gave it a 9 out of 10. That's how much I thought it was as a time travel movie. It was so well done.
To go off on a completely different tangent because of this trailer and the fact he relives day after day, would you classify Groundhog Day
of course
as a time travel movie?
Well, that's a loop, isn't it? It's a time loop.
Yeah, he's stuck. But he goes through months and months, or even years, because he learns new languages and becomes a more decent person.
Yeah, I mean,
but that's a time travel movie that doesn't have a big.
And that's like what 11 years earlier, you really think about it. And that's, I would class that as a 10. Oh no, I've got a 9 on it. So yeah. But a narcissistic, self-centered weatherman finds himself in a time loop on Groundhog Day. It's so good as well. It's like Harold Rami. Is it? That's not from like the guy from like Dead, Walking Dead. I'm not Walking Dead, Evil Dead thing. Is it Raimi Brothers? Sam Raimi?
No, I think that might be one of the
Ghostbusters.
Yeah, I think he wrote Ghostbusters. I think that's one of the. Is that the actor that died recently? Is that Harold Raimi?
What's that?
Spengler, whatever his name is.
Who was Spengler? Yeah, Harold. Oh, so he was actually actor and
I think he
writer of that.
I think too.
So that would be. Wait, hold on. So that's the guy with the glasses, right?
Yeah.
Harold. Stop popping everywhere.
I mean, they wanted a lot of different people for the cast. So,
yeah.
Because I heard that Bill Murray was not wanted to start with, so there was a lot of different people listed for that cast too.
But yeah, I mean, Groundhog Day, like recently, there's been a whole upsurge in the whole loop thing, time loop thing.
There's the what's that horror one? Happy Death Day or something.
That was a good one. Talk about time loop, right? Like that was really good. Happy Death Day. So that's what 2017. So what did I give that? Did I rate it? Oh, I haven't rated it yet. But and did you because I mean we both at the moment all I'm doing is watching.
Oh,
right,
you're up.
But
Happy birthday.
what did you think of this one?
Oh, hey, you're up.
Happy birthday.
I'm totally having deja vu. I've already lived through this day.
I'm watching so much horror.
He's trying to kill me again.
Is everything okay?
I have to kill him before he kills me.
Happy Death Day. Now playing.
Yeah, I can understand why there's a sequel.
On Friday.
I wish there wasn't.
Now.
There was another one was
Happy birthday.
So that is the first one of that genre, in the sense of it's like a subgenre of time travel, where you're actually stuck in the day over and over again.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's the first or not, but I think it's definitely probably the first one that's popular. Yeah, it's like when I watched The Sixth Sense, and I thought this is the first time I've seen a movie like this. And then I watched an old movie called Carnival of Souls.
Right.
And it was The Sixth Sense. There was a lady that died.
Yeah.
And she walked around talking to people. And you realize half the people weren't looking at her and talking to her, so she was dead. It's like, I think I've seen this somewhere before. And look when it was made.
So this is like 1962.
Yeah. And the main actress is dead for the entire movie.
Oh. So
it's very similar to The Sixth Sense.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously not time travel, but
yeah.
Hey, you want to drive?
This is the thing that there's kind of like almost nothing new under the sun when it comes to storytelling. And I think, as a writer, I'm like, and you as well, like I was thinking about like your book, right? The Wasteland, Chronicles of the Wasteland. And then I saw some images from the new, I wanted to show you this Mad Max.
Furiosa?
No, this fan movie that's just been come out. So remind me to
I
do
know
that.
It's not time travel, but I'd like to watch a Mad Max fan movie.
Yeah. So what we're talking about here with Shane is his comic issue number 3 is coming out. It's basically only available in New Zealand, right?
So far,
yeah. So hopefully, when you get the trade paperback, we'll be able to get it all over the world for you guys. So that'll be pretty cool. If that's that's the idea behind that.
So I've been told if I get the 4 or 5 issues done, it would make much more sense to do it as a one-off.
Yeah.
Which that's the way I buy comics too. So that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Down in New Zealand, they're very hard to get on a regular basis.
Yeah. And then also you have to make sure that you didn't miss out on it. Like
But that's the problem. We're at the bottom of the world. So if all the issues sell in America, we don't get the leftovers. It's gone.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's interesting about this one. So I saw another one called the same thing, right? So kind of all sells when I was typing it in.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's like a remake of that. So let me just pop that up so I can have a look at that one. So 1998. And there was another one again with the same thing. So a young woman who witnesses brutal rape and murder of her mother by a circus clown. Okay, it's nothing like that.
Very different.
When she's adult, no.
Yeah.
That's something my sister was talking about. Like I said to her, like there's a movie called Arcade that just came out, right?
Yeah.
And I liked it. Nicolas Cage. It's basically the idea is about his father who's bringing up his two sons at the end of the world kind of thing situation, and after the apocalypse. And I found that to be very endearing because I know people either like Nicolas Cage or don't. I don't mind him. And some of his recent movies he's done, I thought they were really good, like The Color Out of Space.
Yep.
Looks really freaking awesome.
I like Mandy.
Yeah.
Mandy's a hard watch though, but
Yeah.
I like it. I love Nicolas Cage, but I love him because he's actually willing to try things.
Yeah.
He's willing to do crazy shit.
Yeah.
And it'll either work or it'll fail miserably, but he doesn't do the same role over and over.
And I find that like he's someone that he loves, who does it for the love of it, right?
Yeah.
He's not like, I'm going to be the next blockbuster. And so I give it a 7. I like he hasn't got like a lot of presence in the movie, but his, like talking and all that, but his presence in the movie is enough to drive the movie to a story, because it's pretty good. I quite enjoyed it, so I do recommend it. I give it a 7, which I'm very tough if like on things, especially if it's a low budget film, but I think this movie's really good.
There are those who believe they came after the pollution people caused. And they're here to cleanse the planet of the human race. So we'll all become extinct. We have to stay vigilant. Do you understand?
Yeah.
All right.
I'll meet you right here before the sun sets behind that hill.
It was good to see you.
You're late!
Sorry, I lost track of time.
Are we safe?
Yes.
Are we secure?
Yes. Thank you for this food we were about to receive. Thank you for bringing us together as a family. I don't want to hide from them anymore. What do we do?
Are we not men?
What are they doing? They trapped us in.
They're crawling up from underneath us.
They'll break in any second. You need to trust me.
Yeah, so I think Arcadian for me is a really, really worthwhile movie to watch. I think I highly recommend it because of that. The idea that, like, there's a dad, two boys and teens, and trying to keep them alive in a freaking end of the world scenario. And I don't think anybody, if you see it on streaming, whatever, watch it. You're not going to lose 90 minutes of your life and go complain about it, because it's not even a popcorn movie. You know how like popcorn movies, you turn your brain off?
Yeah.
This one, I didn't even feel like turning my brain off. I thought it was really interesting. It's got a slow, interesting drive to it, but also speeds up really fast as well. But it is, it doesn't give away too much of itself. As like, it allows you to think of what's going on more. But then, yeah, it's like, it's a lot of sacrifice in this film that I think that's what, it's like a parent-child movie, because a lot of parents do sacrifice.
Yeah.
I mean, you're a parent, right? You do a lot of things to help your children, put them before you more than yourself. And I think that's what I've seen in my family anyway. My parents like doing so much for us than we actually give them credit for, because you don't see that as a child. But I think, and that's the same thing here. It's like you've got two boys, and one's a genius, and one's not interested in that, and it's just has got his own ideas about things, and they're all trying to deal in this sort of like, the closest neighbor is like way over there, and they're not really well off. You find out that like the three of them, that's all they have. They've basically got the three of them, and you find like it's interesting when you do that sort of like minimalist sort of storytelling, where there's only a handful of people involved in the entire thing, and you're not filled up with like, oh, look at all this crowd, oh, look all this, all these big things going on, things blowing up everywhere. But very well written story, I think.
So it's character driven.
That's the word. Yeah, that's it. So the guy who wrote this is I found out that he's a long-time collaborator of Nicolas Cage, and has him in a lot of movies of his. So you can see like Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, Willy's Wonderland. Did you watch Willy's Wonderland?
Yeah, I liked it. You thought that he would be a scared victim, and it was completely the opposite, which is what I liked. It went against what you expected, and it was short and sweet. So you're not going to be like, oh shit, there goes 3 hours.
Yeah, and this way I think like a 90-minute film that is not a lot of money involved, that is done with a lot of care, because people are just like, hey, we only got a limited budget. Let's do the best we can.
From what I've heard, people like this one more than the Five Nights at Freddy's, which is a similar movie.
Right.
So,
yeah, it only cost 5.5 million.
Yeah.
Imagine that, man, a movie made for that much. And like worldwide gross, you don't whatever. A lot of times that doesn't really mean anything anymore, because now you got streaming, it's more people are watching. But not only that, a lot of people back then were buying DVDs and stuff. Now they don't even put out DVDs, and that's only about 3 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Now they're trying to get rid of DVDs and stuff and Blu-rays. But it's a very interesting movie. It's like it switches itself on itself. Yeah. Now
if we're going to go back to the time travel, I had a random thought.
Yeah,
we've mentioned Doctor Who,
right?
What about Quantum Leap,
the classic TV show, right?
Because there's a lot of episodes in that where he's gone back in time.
Yeah,
obviously cheaper and easier to make if you go backwards than going forwards.
One of my favorites.
Theorizing that one could time travel within his own lifetime, Dr. Sam Beckett stepped into the Quantum Leap accelerator and vanished.
Take a leap into adventure with every season of Quantum Leap.
Yes.
TV's extraordinary time travel series on DVD.
I wish you would stop doing that.
Enjoy every episode of this electrifying, innovative program.
I could use a little help here. I get help. A hologram.
Nominated for 31 Emmys.
Oh, wow.
It bends the rules of time and space to bring you one of TV's most unpredictable shows.
Bingo.
Starring Golden Globe winner Scott Bakula.
Oh, boy.
And Golden Globe winner Dean Stockwell.
I've seen things that would curl your hair.
Quantum Leap. Rediscover one of the greatest and most critically acclaimed sci-fi shows of all time. Seasons 1 to 5 are yours to own on DVD.
They only made 5 seasons. I thought it would have been longer than that.
For 31 Emmys.
Groundbreaking.
The other one I just thought about, like they did a 12 Monkeys, right? If we're talking about that.
Oh yeah, where they try and change the history.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're the 1995 movie. Then they're the 2015, 10, was it 20 years later? I quite enjoyed this actually. Like it really expanded on the lore, but then there's some parts of it was a bit weak. But then there was like
a sequel to it or something.
Yeah, they took on the whole idea of like
sci-fi.
who was the 12 Monkey people.
Sci-fi, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, like I think that's 5 seasons or something. Let me see, 4 seasons. Yeah. I kind of enjoyed this. Like I thought it was pretty interesting because I was looking forward to it because that's the only kind of like the show that was on at the time. And so you're able to see so much more behind the scenes of what could have happened and that that you didn't miss out on.
Yeah.
There once was a serpent who only traveled one direction.
Always forward, never backward. Until one day, the serpent came upon a demon.
The demon cursed the serpent, driving him insane, causing him to eat his own tail. The serpent was blind.
But there were those who could see, who knew the serpent's true path. So they created a weapon to destroy the demon.
They hid the weapon in the snake's den, where he waited for his madness to end.
But it never did. For the seers discovered that the only one who could wield the weapon was the demon itself.
And so the serpent was doomed to circle in madness. Forever.
So this one sort of takes the lore of 12 Monkeys and expands it even further out into the past and into the future. So like 1,000 years in the future, and all these other groups that are involved with the 12 Monkeys cult type thing. And so it becomes more like a religious element of these, these followers of this who released the 12 Monkey, the poison or the pandemic. And like, I think if you binge it, you might not appreciate the nuances in it. Like because I was watching on a weekly basis, and because with the Bruce Willis movie 12 Monkeys, I love that. And plus, it was based on the Spanish movie, right?
Yeah.
Was it also called 12 Monkeys, or was it called something else?
I'm not sure. I heard it was based on the Spanish one. I never looked it up.
I was trying to figure out if I'd gone out
I
to
watched
watch it.
that at the cinema, so that's how long ago I saw it. So.
1995, so that's 30 years almost, isn't it?
Yeah, almost.
Shit. I think I might have watched it at the cinema as well at that time, so it was 95. Yeah, because we were at art school then, 95.
Around there, yeah.
Yeah. So
and also movies were actually populated back then.
That's the thing. There was hardly any sort of, there was no streaming and stuff. So Jerry Gillum, who's the director of that, said he was afraid that Brad Pitt wouldn't be able to pull off the nervous, rapid speech he sent him to speech coach. But in the end, he just took away Pitt's cigarettes, and Pitt played the part exactly as Gillum wanted. So, yeah, full of Gillianism, empty of Willisisms in a good way. So where is so it should say it's in the trivia here what it's based on. 2035. gosh, where is it? Was it trivia? $168 million of a $29 million movie, man. That's a huge blockbuster for that time, 30 years ago. That's a very successful movie, especially a sci-fi movie.
Well, that was a hard sci-fi movie too.
Yeah.
Not a Independence Day.
Not an easy popcorn movie type thing. So it should say who's the writer is and what's there, like Legité. Yeah, that's what I was after. Chris Marker, inspired by the film. So get over there so we can look at that. Legité. So 1962. Well, I didn't realize it had gone back all that way. Yeah. So the story of a man forced to explore his memories in the wake of World War III's devastation, told through still images. And that's only a 28-minute film. So Jerry did a good job. And then those other guys with the TV series did a really good job expanding upon the concept. And unlike, like you just mentioned, Quantum Leap being like totally being, trash with the new remake.
Yeah.
That was, I didn't feel like that about the 12 Monkeys TV show. You could see that they really liked what they were doing and they really, worked hard to make it work. Because there was a lot of concepts at work in this. Not only did you have the cult of the 12 Monkeys, not only did you have a person who was living, had lived through that, and then also all these other people who are constantly trying to figure out how to save the world while somebody else is trying to destroy it. And it's, especially like, just before the pandemic. Right, it ended just before the pandemic with 1990, so 19. So it was a good film. Now one of the classics, of course, like is Terminator, right? And then the other side of that, Terminator being R18, and then Back to the Future being PG.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, for me, a perfect film, but like Godfather, or like Blade Runner.
Yeah.
Right. Perfect film, perfect 10. And James Cameron. Now we were talking about aliens yesterday with my let's go like with my nephew yesterday because it's aliens a good movie, and I said, well, yeah, it's a classic. And he said, well, was it James Cameron? I said, or was it Ridley Scott? I said, no, I think it was James Cameron.
James Cameron did the sequel.
Yeah, and that's what confused me. I was like, Les looked it up and he went, "Oh yeah, no, it's Ridley Scott."
The weird thing is, James Cameron was working for Richard Corman when the first Alien came out.
Who's Richard Corman?
Richard Corman is a B-grade movie maker, one of the kings of B-grade movies.
Right.
He's done a lot, like hundreds, and James Cameron was helping him with special effects and other stuff.
Right.
And they did Alien knockoffs together. So by the time he got asked to do the Alien sequel, he already had practice, because they said if you watch his Corman movies, there are elements from each one that he takes into Aliens. So he's like, he watched his own movies, saw it worked.
Is it Coleman or Corman?
Corman. Like COR.
Yeah. Oh, probably come up. But yeah, carry on.
He used elements of each of his B-grade movies that he liked in Aliens. So basically he had practice before he made the sequel. But he knew one thing. He knew that he couldn't outdo the Ridley Scott horror in space. So he decided to make an action movie in space.
Right.
I mean, if you look at, if they give you a list of half his movies, there'll be thousands. Things like Piranha, I think he did.
There's probably a better way to look at it, just by looking at Piranha.
He did so many.
Like 1972. But yeah, so this is the last thing.
I'll be back. The Terminator is back.
For the first time ever, this groundbreaking action movie is available in state-of-the-art 5.1 surround sound. The Terminator DVD. All new, digitally remastered, featuring newly discovered deleted scenes. And an exciting special effects documentary, plus other exciting features you won't find anywhere else. The movie that set the standard for
Terminator is out there, and it will not stop.
What's the story there? Because
James Cameron wanted O.J. Simpson to play the Terminator, but they thought he was too nice, and no one would believe that he could kill somebody.
Too nice, and nobody would believe it. Yeah.
Well, that's what his reputation was like at the point. And the other idea he had was to get Lance Henriksen to play the Terminator, because he thought having a guy that was skinny and kind of frail looking, but able to lift up cars and would make it more interesting, because hey, the robot doesn't have to look like a tank. But he's obviously, after he met Arnold, he thought this guy gets it. So but that's why Lance Henriksen is in the movie, because he liked him and he was almost going to be the Terminator. That's the story I heard. So he's now in it as one of the policemen.
Lance has got a really interesting voice.
Oh, yeah.
He was so good as well. Look at him, like 82.
Yeah, he lost weight for
Come with me if you want to live. You've been targeted for termination.
How could that man just get up after you did?
He's not a man. Terminator. Part man, part machine. It doesn't feel pity or remorse or fear. And it absolutely will not stop until you are dead.
So you got one for the man, and then you've got one for the young teenager, or young boys. And after that, for the ladies with time travel.
What's the ladies one?
Stranger Things. So let's go to Back to the Future, and then we'll go over to the ladies, which is an astronaut's wife or the time traveler's wife, are the two for the ladies. But there's also a comedy one, like Hot Tub.
Hot Tub Time Machine.
Yeah,
it's in the title.
So 1984 was Terminator. 1985, I didn't realize it was so close. 1985, again, 10 out of 10 for me. Friggin' a year later, you got for the young ones. It's like, I wonder if is it the same company that did it, or did they time it that way, or was it a deal?
I don't think it's the same company.
Because it's such an interesting thing to think, like, oh, we're making a sci-fi movie like a Terminator for grown-ups. I wonder what we could do for young ones. But I don't think, because they're freaking years in production,
I think they've
right?
been writing this for years.
Yeah.
So because they went through that, Michael J. Fox wasn't the original actor. So because Eric Stoltz, he was the original. So they obviously did footage and stuff with him in it.
Yeah, so there was some of that online on YouTube. You can actually find that.
So I think they tweaked quite a bit of the story too. So.
Okay, so here's a bit of like Eric Stoltz, right?
It's in the credits.
And let me just bring that up so you guys can see that Eric Stoltz, Back to the Future.
Slacker too.
It's the first time we get to see it.
Good evening. I'm Dr. Emmett Brown. I'm standing on the parking lot at Twin Pines Mall. It's Saturday morning, October 26, 1985, 1:18 a.m. Emerald experiment number 1. Please note, Einstein's clock is in precise synchronization with my control watch. What did I tell you? 88 miles per hour! The thermal displacement occurred exactly 1:20 a.m. in 0 seconds! Calm down, Marty. I didn't disintegrate anything. The molecular structure of both Einstein and the car are completely intact. The flux dispersal. Look out! Oh, you landing?
I kind of feel like he kind of suits the role.
Yeah, I think the thing is he might have actually been a bit too good looking.
Do you think?
Well, because you know Michael J. Fox.
He looks like James Dean.
Michael J. Fox though was smaller, so you know when you're getting bullied and stuff.
That's true.
I mean, he's not exactly ugly either, but
yeah,
he's smaller, so Biff will look bigger.
All right, because Stoltz looks taller, doesn't he?
Yeah. I don't know if he is, but he looks taller.
Yeah. Like, I mean, he looks like a young James Dean. Or am I wrong in saying that? He is quite handsome, like just the whole features as a film actor.
I think the thing, he just doesn't look, because Michael J. Fox had that slightly awkward.
Yeah.
It's like watching Indiana Jones when you hear that Tom Selleck was one of the leading people. It's like, you just can't imagine.
No,
that
that one I can imagine Eric, but I can't imagine Tom Selleck.
Yeah, but I don't see any reason why he wouldn't have been good. Because he was likable and laid back, and the ladies was good looking in Magnum PI.
Yeah,
but you just can't watch Indiana Jones and not think of Harrison Ford. So.
Yeah, because he was kind of too big as well, like his body shape. Because he's almost like you know, what's his name, Michael J. Fox.
Yeah,
it's not too different.
Well, one thing is, he does look more like his dad. He looks more like Crispin Glover than Michael J. Fox does, and that's meant to be his dad. So. You'll never know. You'll never know. OJ looks like he's a Terminator.
Yeah. So back to the but it's just I find it interesting that actually that think of what Eric Stoltz's life would have been like if he whatever happened. I don't know why they decided not to go with him. Because he would be like a superstar like Michael J. Fox is right now. He would have everything Michael J. Fox had, ever since. I mean, not Parkinson's, of course, but but seriously, it's not something good to have. But,
Marty, can you meet me at Twin Pines Mall tonight at 1:15? I've made a major breakthrough and I'll need your assistance.
Are you telling me you built a time machine? What about the Warrior?
On October 21st, the timeless American classic comes back to theaters for one day only.
And you're flying. I thought I told you never to come in here.
Wow, look at him go!
We're sending you back to the future.
Why do you keep calling me Calvin?
Calvin Klein? It's written all over your underwear.
I'm George McFly. I'm your density.
This October,
21 gigawatts.
come back for the best ride of all time.
Where we're going, we don't need roads.
Back to the Future, October 21st only. Tickets on sale now at fathomevents.com.
Well, I mean, he did juice it up, didn't he?
Yeah. I mean, it's
with the flux
it's a time
capacitor
machine.
Yeah.
So.
Such a good movie, though. I mean, like the whole series. I don't think there was like three.
See, I didn't like the third one.
Yeah, I was just thinking, like, was there one that I didn't
thought
like?
it went downhill as it went, like a lot of sequels do. was.
Marty, can you meet me at Twin Pines Mall tonight at 1:15? I made a.
Was a third one?
And I kind of think the first one had the perfect ending anyway.
Yeah.
He sorted his life out. He made it better for his parents, and he got to exist.
Now, just jumping back, so this is like the Aussie actor,
Is that
Guy Pearce.
Yeah, I was about to say, I thought it was Guy Pearce. Isn't it? This is a lot darker. This one, isn't it?
Yeah, with the Mongols and like very, very nerve-wracking. I think.
But they still made the machine look very similar.
How may I help you, sir? Over here.
Described to look like that in the book.
Yeah. And they really did pay a lot of good, like a homage to the original, and they didn't try to reinvent the wheel or try to, modern audience type thing on it, because it does, because of the CGI and all that. It looks dated.
I was about to say those skeletons were shocking. I kind of like the old horror movie guys who, if they couldn't make something, they didn't show it.
Yeah.
So I think more directors need to use that. If you can't make it look good,
show
it less.
Yeah. Or even go practical.
Yeah, have a couple of actual standing skeletons.
Talking about which, I'm trying to watch Godzilla -1.
Yeah.
They made that for $15 million.
Yeah.
And a movie like that, like a 2-hour movie for $15 million, it just blew everybody away. And not only that, people enjoyed it. So, because I was at dinner with, with my young nephew yesterday, my brother and sister, sister-in-law, my sister and my brother-in-law, and we're talking about Godzilla, and because we're talking about movies, and I said, like, watch Grave of the Fireflies to really understand Godzilla -1.
Yeah.
Watch Grave of the Fireflies, which is an animated movie by Studio Ghibli.
I think so.
Yeah.
It's one of your old ones.
Yeah.
Are you talking about because the Japanese have a history with the bomb?
No, not. But it's about children. It's like it's about, like, in a sense, like understanding that time period. Yeah. If you just go and go, oh, okay, well, we're just watching those people getting, I thought they were our enemy and stuff. But if you go in and watch Grave of Fireflies, and it's about a young boy and his little sister struggling to survive during World War II, and you really think about, because that's where Godzilla -1 starts at, right at the end of friggin' World War II, and you wonder why that situation is like it is, and then you watch this beforehand, because I recommend watching this before you watch that, because you get a bit more understanding, because everybody likes to make the other person the enemy, and this one sort of like looks at the whole idea from a child's point of view. What are the children happening? Because there's always in any war, there's a majority of orphans, and it's the children that are left on the side, no parents and stuff. And one of the things about Godzilla -1, very early on, you learn about that very quickly.
Yeah.
And if you watch this, it'll make your impact on watching that a bit more wiser than just becoming just another monster movie. You just were going in watching it. And that's why I think why it did well, because people who understood that time period and what was happening just with the bombs and stuff like that, the nuclear, it just drives home that whole idea of, like, there's an emperor who thinks he's God, and you should die for God.
Yeah. And
that was the basis of why there was kamikazes. And Godzilla -1 deals with kamikaze pilot. Basically, you just believe, you're supposed to sacrifice your life no matter what. You're not even supposed to survive. You're supposed to go in, dive bomb, and know that you're going to die. There's no way out. And I think that's what kind of like, if you watch this, you'll realize why. Because you're told that they're the enemy. This is basically what he was saying. They're your enemy. They're the monsters. They'll eat you. You'll be cannibalized. And those children are scared as hell, running away from all this because they think they're going to be eaten if they get caught.
Yeah.
And so that's why I think it goes hand in hand for me, I reckon, in my understanding, for the Grave of Fireflies than Godzilla -1.
Okay, so you're talking about the psychology.
Yeah, because there's a lot of things in the Godzilla style about psychology.
They said in the Vietnam War they would play extremely racist stuff to the troops.
Yeah,
and they're like, why would you do that? And it's like, well, you want them to actually think of the enemy as less than human.
Yeah.
So you actually make them racist on purpose. You make them think that they are better than the Vietnamese, and they don't matter, and their kids don't matter, and their family doesn't matter, and you make them think that they're animals.
Yeah.
Because you're less likely to kill your neighbor if you get along with them.
Right. Yeah, you'd go to help them rather than
if you think
turn against
someone's
them.
an evil, inferior, there's a lot of mind stuff. But the other thing is with the Japanese too is they've got a weird relationship with nuclear weapons, and because they were bombed, the only country to have a bomb dropped on them.
Yeah.
And then they make movies about radioactive monsters to entertain children.
Yeah.
And social commentary at the same time. But they also have it in Akira and other stuff. There's a lot of things about nuclear weapons.
Yeah.
And they also were one of the first countries, I think, that had nuclear power plants. Which you think if New Zealand got hit by a bomb, we wouldn't build a nuclear power plant.
It'd probably be like something to do with the culture itself, and what they have this whole Bushido thing. I haven't looked into that. I'm looking to look into that a bit more. Of like, how in Maori they have like mana, right?
Yeah.
And you got to have that, and that's kind of like the Bushido way that they have that, like harikari and stuff like that, and like who would for honor, have your head chopped off and stuff like that. So it's a very cultural thing. But I remember watching this way back in about 2000 when I was doing my films course, and really thinking about, like, I never saw the children's point of view, which is something I'm looking at when I'm writing now. I'm looking at how do I kind of write in a way that there's an emotional connection between the reader to the work, because I think that's what a lot of modern cinema is missing out, is a connection to the reader to the work itself. And the next movie we're going to look at is like one that my film tutor actually mentioned, recommended to me way back when, and it was called The Astronaut's Wife. And she recommended me that I read a couple of books as well. It was by Sherry Tapper, Gate to Woman's Country, which is about war from a female's perspective. Yeah. It's a sci-fi film, and this is like 2000. Have you read that?
No.
And
I'm trying to remember if I've seen this movie, because I watched a lot of Johnny Depp when he was more creative.
Yeah.
So.
All right, let's see. I'll bring this up. And there was another one that they did was like recently, which was, what was it called? Handmaid's Tale.
Houston, permission to rotate the panel 48 degrees, over. Roger.
At 2:36 p.m., 125 miles above Earth, shuttle astronaut Spencer Armacost suddenly lost contact.
I'm Sherman Reese from NASA. It's about your husband.
What happened?
There was an explosion. We lost contact for about 2 minutes.
Jill. What happened up there?
Everything shut down. No sound, but something loud. And then I felt warmth. It was the warmth of you.
To most, he seemed the same. But to his wife, he had become something not of this world.
Jill. Ah, yes. See this here?
Where is it?
2 heartbeats. It's twins, Mrs. Amacost. It's twins.
Everything's gonna be just fine.
Now, what happened during those 2 minutes?
There was an accident. There was an explosion.
No!
She's beginning to fear that the lives inside her aren't human. And he will stop at nothing to protect them.
You are watching this tape. If you're watching this tape, Mrs. Armacost, I'm probably dead. He's not.
your husband anymore.
Where you gonna go, honey? Where you gonna go?
What's happening?
I love you, Jillian.
No, you don't.
Johnny Depp. Charlize Theron. The astronaut's wife.
Everything I see, you see. Everything you think, I know.
That's a bit more serious movie from him. So the other one was The Time Traveler's Wife. And this is Eric Bana, 2009. And for the ladies, of course, like the last two movies, right? So this one's more like time travel for the ladies.
I've known Henry since I was 6 years old. I remember the first day we met.
Travel through time. In fact, you and I are friends in the future. When you're a lady.
There's no such thing as time traveler.
Well, if you hang around long enough, you'll see me disappear.
1 second he was there, and the next, he was gone. I've been waiting for Henry my entire life. It's you. I wrote down every time that you came to visit me. You told me that you go back to the same places a lot.
Yeah, it's like gravity. Big events pull you in.
I was a big event.
That was 8 movie. Maybe Michelle.
Is it too weird?
No, I think it's kind of magical.
What's her name?
I don't feel alone anymore.
McAdam.
Marry me.
No. I didn't mean that. Of course.
Very weird. Many adults.
We named her Alba.
You met her?
And what's
so beautiful.
Daddy!
I travel through time. I can't control it. It just happens. I wish it didn't.
You're back.
Did I miss Christmas?
What do you want to talk about? How bad it feels to sit here and wait for you?
I'm falling apart. I'm barely breathing.
What's wrong with me wanting one normal thing in my life? You think that I wanted this life? This husband that disappears? Who would want that?
I have a choice.
I never had a choice.
I don't want you to spend your life waiting.
I wouldn't change 1 second of our life together.
I can't stay.
I know.
So that was from, what year was that? Like 2009? Yeah, 2009. And it was, if I remember right, they mentioned that it was based on a famous best-selling book. So who was the book by? Audrey Niffenegger. It's like Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? Niffenegger. She's Austrian, probably. So Jacob and the Angel shorts. There is a TV series. I thought there was a TV series. And Tomorrow's Worlds. So this is a TV series, and it's got that redhead. Yes.
That redhead.
Yeah, Rose Leslie from, of course, yeah, You Don't Know Nothing, John Stone. Oh, John. What was, like, Game of Thrones? John something.
Snow.
Jon Snow. What I think it was. Yeah. So, sixth issue.
Never watched Game of Thrones.
Did you?
No. It was probably about 3 seasons in, and everyone started telling me to watch it.
Yeah.
Like,
Last season, I gave up.
Time travel. It's not a superpower. It's a disability. It's what's wrong with me.
It's a bit like butterfly effect. We just disappear.
Can I help you?
Henry.
Sorry, I don't know.
Claire.
So we've met then.
Yes.
Good actors.
version. We just happened to each other in the wrong order.
Any hobbies?
I'm your future wife.
Your day.
Now, 3 things I got good at to survive. Running, fighting, and stealing.
The danger isn't the worst.
Christmas is the worst.
There are days he keeps going back to.
I can't control it. And I hate to be where she's not. I'm always going and she can't follow.
This is me changing the future.
I have tried to change it. Trust me. You can't.
Hi, everyone.
Who the hell are you?
What does he look like?
I love Henry more than I could ever love anyone else.
So then where is he?
I don't have very long. Nobody has very long. I think I'm going.
No.
I love you.
Why is love intensified by absence?
Fun.
That's the word. I couldn't think of what it was, but yeah.
Time travel.
This whole, what was it? Went past it. So it's 6 episodes, right? 45 minutes. So they would have really delved into, like I was saying, like the story more because he had more time to deal with it. Like, yeah, that's rather than, what was it? How long was the other movie? I think it was like 90 minutes or something. Hour 40, yeah, just over 90 minutes. So, yeah. And you saw like in this one, you don't see the friends and family and other things that are happening, whereas the other one you could actually see a bit more. That's what I think. Like when they really expand on novels into series, it actually is about, whereas you're just getting a big chunk of all the action scenes, all the most important scenes in the movie that you aren't, don't see in them. You miss out a lot in the in that by not reading the book or something. So it's good that they had that. I wonder what was the rating on that. I should have checked that because food. And then we'll finish off with Interstellar because I just realized that Interstellar kind of feels like that as well. Or am I wrong?
Can't finish off with Interstellar. You've got to add one more.
Which one?
The New Zealand one.
That's right. I forgot. Right. So, yeah. So
that no one will have seen.
So 7.7 for the TV series, right? And then it was 7.1 for the movie. So the TV series is much more loved than the actual, even though, yeah, I'm about pretty close in that. Now, let's go to Interstellar, and then I will go find the information about the movie. New Zealand movie, since it's New Zealand Movie Month, we'll... Hold on. I'll go find information about this, because Interstellar is basically kind of similar because of that whole aspect of he's alive in the future, but he's also in the past. It's very interesting. Yeah. Did you watch this?
I have, but I don't know how obvious a time travel movie this one is. I think it's more. Doesn't he just kind of go missing? He travels into space.
What are you going to do with it?
I'm going to give it something socially responsible to do.
Can't we just let it go?
This thing needs to learn how to adapt, Murph.
Gang, let's mask up.
Like the rest of us.
Let's go.
This world's a treasure, but it's been telling us to leave for a while now.
Your daughter's generation will be the last to survive on Earth. You're the best pilot we ever had. Get out there and save the world.
Everybody ready to say goodbye to our solar system? To our galaxy. Here we go. We're here. We want to get down fast, don't we?
Actually, we want to get there in one piece.
Hang on. We have a mission. Our mission does not work if the people on Earth are dead by the time we pull it off.
We got this far, farther than any human in history.
Oh, not far
I need to
enough.
watch it again.
Make it count.
Where's the mountains?
Those aren't mountains. They're waves.
I'm not gonna make it.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
You might have to decide between seeing your children again and the future of the human race.
We'll find a way. But we always have.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch this again. It's been a while since I saw it, and of course, it's a very, very highly rated movie, 8.7. And I almost forgot we were gonna talk about because 23rd, right, of this month is Furiosa. Is it Furiosa?
Yeah,
it's coming up. So
the Mad Max without Mad Max.
yeah. So recently, like only yesterday, I only found this out about yesterday. I was watching one of the guys that I've interviewed on our channel called Richard Meyer Burnett. He's got an awesome YouTube channel. Please check it out. A great guy, film buff, like works in the industry, has worked on like Narnia, behind the scenes sort of documentary and type thing. So this is called Hope and Glory, a Mad Max fan film. So Mad Max returns in Hope and Glory. In exchange for gasoline, Max takes on a dangerous rescue mission. Disclaimer: this is a fan film. No profit is made with this movie. So imagine, that's the thing about fan films. There's nobody's making anything of this.
Yeah.
Right. It's just for the love of the work and love of the storytelling. And a lot of creators do that. Like fan artists, like all they do is just create fan art for characters. There's nothing wrong with that, and I think sometimes it's really awesome because you are doing it because you just love it, right? You're not looking to get anything back out of it. Of course, like fan art, you can sell and stuff like that. In this case, you're not selling this work because you're not allowed to. You don't own the copyright to it. But here's the thing that they say, like over 3 years in the making, more than 275 filmmakers from 5 continents joined forces on this non-commercial project. The release of Hope and Glory is meant as a cinematic thank you in honor of what Byron Kennedy, Doug Mitchell, and George Miller created. Since we are really looking forward to Furiosa, we wanted to shorten the waiting time with our tribute and return to the wasteland. Now, the reason I was thinking about, like, when I saw something in there yesterday, I was thinking about this, right? Yeah. So before we get into that, can you tell me a bit about this, right? And what the deal, I mean, like, I've read this issue 1. I haven't got to issue 2 because I'm like, I want to read 2 and 3 together and then finish off with 4 and like kind of a chunk.
Well, the basic deal of it is I grew up on Mad Max, and I've always wanted to do a comic. And I read this article where a guy said it's easiest to write something that you'd want to see. So instead of doing something deep and meaningful and really artistic, I thought, I love Mad Max. I love things like Masters of the Universe. I love good versus evil. So it's kind of just a fun little romp. And it started off as a very Mad Max type story, but it does go a bit into horror. So it's basically a combination of all the things I love. I'm not going to say it's a deep and meaningful award-winning script, but I think it's fun and entertaining, and it's not just a straightforward story. I've added a few twists in there. So it's going to be a 4-parter. I'm up. The third one's going to come out in about 2 weeks. And then hopefully in about 3 or 4 months, the last part will be out, because I do everything myself. It takes a while. And yeah, that's the self-promotion. It's a bit of a Mad Max, slightly Master of the Universe, and a wee bit horror.
Right.
All the things I grew up watching.
And that's why I kind of want to mention that in light of this movie, right?
Yeah.
Because you've got people who love Mad Max, and I grew up on Mad Max. Me and Dad, we watched like the first one, watched the second one, Thunderdome, because my dad's at the time, I'm sure he still is, a huge Tina Turner fan, right? So we don't need another hero. It's been like something that I've always kind of thought about. And then also when like There Goes My Hero, right, from Foo Fighters, kind of like almost kind of like a feel like kind of similar thing. But I'm gonna put this link in the chat for this, so you guys can check this movie out. But it's a 45-minute film, and look, anything longer than like a 5-minute, because I've done short films and I've done a feature film, right, about 1 hour and 50 minutes kind of thing. It takes a lot of effort for these guys to do it over 5 continents with 275 people doing it, involved in it. This is huge undertaking for free, right? Not any profit. Nothing has been made off this, right? So I'm going to put that up, and then I'll put the links in the chat for everybody.
Saying is that the oil price will...
I had that muted. Let's go back to start.
So what you're saying is that the oil prices will continue to increase?
They will explode. And there's nothing we can do about it. No electricity for major cities mark a new turning point. The cabinet is preparing for rationing for many years.
South America, Asia, Africa. The rainforest is gone.
We've lost the green lungs of our planet.
Violent protests turn cities into battlefields.
Depletion of vital resources.
The attacks are getting more and more vicious.
As oil and water panic,
Irreversible.
arises, spiraling into chaos in the streets.
This is the last broadcast.
Good luck to all of us. The world as we know it does not exist anymore.
Society fell apart. Governments broke down. And mankind lost its humanity. Dangerous groups were born out of this chaos. Tribes were formed, fighting each other for another day under the scorching sun. Every time I fall asleep, I'm afraid to see their faces. Every time I wake up, I fear to have forgotten them once and for all.
It's a drone shot. That's Aussie with the red clay.
Probably, yeah. It's either a drone shot or some stock footage.
Mm.
Which we have to pay for anyway.
Yeah.
Probably a drone. They're getting cheaper.
Yeah.
Don't hide the car. I'm the car person.
I love this sound. I know that's Foley, but that.
Yeah.
The sound work on this is really solid. we're going to watch about 3 minutes of it. I'm going to take a quick first. Yeah. So I want to go to where we did.
Creative
yeah, and like these guys already have, like, and for free. I mean, just for the love of it.
Every single one of your fingers if you don't let me drive to the Citadel. Your days working for a mortem will be counted.
You are Black Thumb, not a referee. I will end your half-life right here and now, please!
Yes, and nobody will be your witness. You will be forgotten. You poor schlingers would not have found the milker without me. I should drive.
Let's show our little brother what it means to question the order of
It wasn't good hitting that car first because that would have saved her. I wasn't thinking, like, you just blew up the gas tank. Because there would still be some in the engine, right?
warrior.
Okay.
Can you cut me free?
Food.
Hey? Hey! Can you cut me? No. You need gasoline, right? Listen, I can get you gasoline. Lots of it, actually.
Where?
I can show you.
See, they need to do a Mad Max series, I think.
Don't waste time.
Not necessarily about Max, but about, well, the wastelands. Because, for one thing, people love it. Another thing, it wouldn't be the dearest thing to make.
Yeah.
Because you can find shitty old cars that you can turn into a tank.
Right.
There are people that make rat rods for fun. I'm sure they'd love to see their car in a movie.
So there is hope and glory, and I'm like definitely going. I haven't watched it yet. I wanted to show it to Shane here before, you know, first, and then watch it later. But thank you. Hey, Justin, how's it going? Yeah, a lot of production value is going in, and that's right. I mean, it's, you know, it's for the love of game, right? If you love something, you put more love, like more effort into it than just like a paycheck, and you're doing it. And these guys are not doing it because they love it, and it shows. Like you said, like, you know, it gives you enough to, you know, to understand what's going on, because you know it's this world has ended and now it's got to a dystopian state, petrol is what's going to get you traveling around. Talking about like you know, a TV show and in the world and going off it. Like I just thought about like at the moment, you know, we're about to take Robot Nation to this month, at the end of this month or something. You know, once I get everything sorted out, to Kickstarter. The comic is already available for you guys to read, and you get a small snippet into the world of Robot Nation through a 12-page story. And Robot Nation itself is something that I want to build around, exactly what you said, that other people can tell their stories in their country about what's happened at the end of the situation that's kicked off the Robot Nation. And you, in this one here, you learn about what happened, but without too much exposition. And so my idea has been like, hey, later on, if people are interested, they can also do 12-page stories or 6-page stories in whatever, taking that concept of Robot Nation.
Yeah, I don't think you need to do a lot of exposition unless you're planning on only doing 2 or 3 issues.
Yeah.
Because like, if you've got a 1.5-hour movie and you want to tell people 300 years of history, you need to have the voiceover or the exposition, or the character that just happens to pop up and tell you what's happened. But I think for an ongoing comic series, you just let it actually grow as it goes.
Yeah. So, well, that's like, I mean, that's good, because like the title story is actually just a concept story. So it's a standalone 12-page story, but it isn't mentioned again in issue 2 or 3. It's like there's a whole bunch of stories about robots and the concept of technology and stuff like that, but we don't do another robot story for a while. It sets its own scene. Yeah. So it's like you know, it's not actually part of any other story. It's just its own story.
And
yeah,
you said there's 2 or 3 stories in there. Are there 2 or 3 artists, or?
There's one artist, another colorist, and that's 2 stories. 2 complete stories. So it's a standalone.
Yeah.
So you get a story on Earth, which is Robot Nation, which is based here, Takapuna, Tutakaka, sorry.
Yeah.
And then there's one in space, and they're both complete. So it's like an introduction into this anthology series without buying any other issues. You'll be able to handle it. You know, get a good idea. And we've just done just received the first 2 colored pages from Edwin, our new colorist on this. You know, stuff variant covers and stuff. We're doing mature covers, risque covers and stuff. That's going original cover. So if you do want to try it out, it's only $2.99, which is a coffee cup, $5 New Zealand cup of coffee, to see whether it is gonna, you know, it's something that interests you to back it as a print cover. I mean, print comic with all the other stuff. We got like posters. I think we're doing trading cards at the moment, pin-ups from people. All these amazing artists have come in and said, hey, I'd like to do a cover for you, or here's something we're going to put part of this just to help, you know, the Kickstarter. So we're looking at probably a couple grand on this. How we started off, it just because we've got a new colorist, which means paying for color. It's different, right? When you're doing your own work, it's like way different, you know.
I'm not paying for color.
Yeah. So, you know, but, you know, it looks so much cool when it's in color, because like black and white, you know, I think maybe that's something if you do a trade for, you know, for Wasteland.
Well, I'll talk with the because there's a few people that mentioned the trade idea, so I'll talk with the people that might publish it about that.
Yeah.
If they think it will sell more, then I'll sit down for a month or 2 and color it. But, I designed it in black and white, so I think at the moment there's a lot of harsh shadows and stuff deliberately.
But yeah, do try it out. Let me put the link in the chat so you guys can, you know, so try it, see if you like it, right? I mean, that's why I wanted to put the digital out first, so you guys can see, is there value in a print copy for you, right? Because it is, it's going to be about 44 pages. See, it's 36 pages in the digital, but there's extra 8 pages because I wanted to put black and white pinups in there off the covers, so you guys get actually see the rawness. Like we just talking about, like there's value in cut in black and white, so you guys can see that. So yeah, thank you.
Illustrators always
Justin.
want to see the working. I like to see people's sketches and stuff.
Yeah, and you'll see some of that as well. Like there's some prelim sketches. Francisco Conti, who's Italian, who's an interior artist, did a great job. He also did the cover there. You see Hugo Aquino is the colorist on the cover art. But we've got like artists from America. We've got cover artist from Argentina, who's one of our guys who's working on a manga, has done a cover for it. You've got American artist James, who did that risque cover, this one here, right? And then you've got, because this is a mature comic series, it's not like PG, it's not back for kids, because there's some heavy heavy situations, there's horror elements and stuff like that, and you don't want to have kids picking up a book with that. And so I'm very conscious of that. But the other thing is there are some really cool variant covers that are just so amazing, and Edwin's new colors, friggin' awesome, man. Like I'll be, we'll be, when we start the Kickstarter, which you guys can, here's the link for the Kickstarter, by the way, and then we'll go to the New Zealand time travel one, and we'll finish up with that tonight, guys. So if you're just joining us, do go and check out the movies that we talked about earlier, because we had some, having Shane on the movie ones is really cool, because I forget a lot of stuff, and the other thing is Shane watches a lot of older movies, and also a lot of cult movies.
B-grade.
Yeah,
shit.
Yeah, stuff.
Some of them are shockingly bad. Some of them are shockingly bad, but the ideas are fantastic.
That's what I was going to say. It's like just the concept of it sometimes is much better than multi-billion.
You'd be able to borrow a lot of ideas from old movies.
So this is a New Zealand movie, right?
Yeah, I haven't seen it for a while. I know it's kind of lighthearted. I think it gets a wee bit dark at the end, because it's a Kiwi movie. We always get a bit dark.
Yeah.
Even our comedies have people dying in them. Like Goodbye Pork Pie and stuff. But it is mostly lighthearted movie. I thought it was watchable. I wouldn't say it's the best movie about time travel, but it's watchable.
Yeah.
I just like to watch underground things, and I saw this was a New Zealand film, so I had to check it out.
All right, so let's go check it out. Here we go. So, never seen it, I don't think.
Hey, Terry, look at this. Surprise, motherfucker.
Oh, yeah.
Who's this?
This is Johnny. It's bloody dynamic.
Holy shit! I never thought anybody would be stupid enough to steal from pirates.
Well, you never met us then, did you?
Nick the Chinese money. You see Johnny, fucking shoot him.
Then I'll at least get a gun.
It's not America. Not made of guns.
Those guys won't stop talking about you.
True, what are they saying?
Just that you're a sneaky cunt, and that they shouldn't have trusted you, and that they didn't trust you, and that you're full of yourself, and you're a pussy, and that they're going to find you and they're going to kill you.
It's very dangerous.
Chinese, eh?
Yep, you're probably fucked.
What the fuck is going on?
Give the fucking money back, or I'll kill her and then I'll kill you.
Why are you arguing? I thought this is what you wanted.
Mega Time Squad. Fuck your Mega Time Squad. I want my own gang.
This is literally your own gang.
Just give us the money, mate.
They let other me go.
Ow!
Till I tell my mum about this.
See, it's very lighthearted, very Kiwi.
Yeah.
Couldn't remember that much swearing in it. So if there are any kids watching,
Yeah,
ignore those
apologies.
words.
Oh no, this
That
channel.
was the trailer.
Yeah, when I heard like cunt, I was like, oh yeah, I don't expect that, because I was expecting more of a Back to the Future type trailer. But yeah, this is for adults show. This isn't goes out to kids, by the way. So I made that certain on our, I think on the channel I've got it. This is not for kids channel. I mean, because YouTube has a thing where you can choose who your audience is, and I always choose for R18, so that way I'm not going to run into trouble with stuff like that. Oh, Looper. Yeah, I forgot.
Time travel right in front of us.
Yeah, Looper. Like I said, I love time travel movies. Looper is like classic. The thing about this is, I've always hold on to the idea that someone who read 2000 AD and Thug's Future, they took that concept for Looper.
It's probably some short story they read 20 years ago.
Because there's a story in Thug that I read about like mid to late 1980s, right? Probably late 1980s, where there's an assassin who is going around the corner to shoot another assassin, and is traveling back in time to do that.
Yeah.
And you know, and it's like this whole thing, and it turns out to be his partner. And it's like there's no stopping it. It keeps going back and forth. There's no stopping it. And it's like just, you know, continues seeing himself kill his partner over and over and over. And so, and that's why I thought Looper was just going around and around in circles.
Yeah. And
that's which one Looper before, like loops with Happy Death Day. So yeah, do check out. Yeah, we're supposed to only be at 1 hour. We're about freaking almost 2 hours. So apologies for that, Shane. Yeah. So thank you guys for watching. Do check out all the cool movies, and of course this. You know, for those people who don't know Huey humor, do check out. You know, because you'll get to know why we are the way we are.
Check out all the great movies and Mega Time Squad.
Yeah, and Mega Time Squad. Because we like the Aussies, right? Our cousins across the ditch, who we like to laugh at ourselves. We can Mickey out ourselves, as we say. And you know, they call themselves larrikins. We just call it, like, you know, we just like to, it's self-deprecating humor, and in the sense that, like, it's just sarcasm, but not meant in a harmful or meaningful way. Yeah, that's why you can call your mate cunt, and they don't, you know, we wouldn't think like you're degrading or something, because that word means a lot of things, you know. And I've heard a couple of people do jokes about just that word, you know, where you can be a good cunt, or you can be a nasty cunt, you know, or a bad cunt. Totally opposite meanings. It's the same word.
You're trying your best to get YouTube to take this one off, aren't you?
No, we're too late.
Say it a few more times.
Yeah, we're too late in the game. It's at almost 2 hours. But thank you guys for joining us on you know, Don't Hate Mondays. Hopefully you know, we came up with some new movies that you never heard of, and especially, you know,
well, this was a tough one because I haven't watched a time travel movie for ages. So I thought of the main ones like Terminator, Back to the Future. I thought of Mega Time Squad because as I was leaving, I looked at my pile of DVDs and it was actually sitting at the front.
Right.
But yeah, I can't say I'm that knowledgeable in the time travel movies of late, because like I already said, I've been watching a lot of, well, rubbish films.
Well, a lot of horror, because that's kind of your love. Like, I think for you, I mean, from an outsider looking, that's your genre. Like, for me, it's sci-fi is my genre, you know. And I think
I've been going through a lot of the cult ones that people love, and there are some generous cult movies because they're not good at all. Like, not even fast-paced. The ideas aren't even good, so it's a tough watch.
The other thing is, like, I mean, you can take, like you said, you can take a little short concept of it. Like, I was watching Arcadian the other day, and I was thinking, like, what if I flipped that? And then I thought, actually, I have flipped that a couple months ago. I was like, had this idea about a guy and his daughter stuck in the bush away from everybody else because something's gone wrong in the world.
Yeah.
And this one's like family, you know, there's dad and 2 kids who are stuck in the world because the world's gone wrong.
Well, if you want to watch the really bleak one, you watch The Road.
Yeah.
The Road is the father and the son. That is bleak.
Yeah.
That's a real feel.
Was it Eric Bana?
No, that's Viggo
Mortensen. Yeah. That's
very post-apocalyptic.
Yeah, I think you know,
not cheerful at all.
No. Yeah. So yeah, I'm trying not to finish off on an uncheerful word, but like, let's look at this as we finish off. But good stuff.
I tell the boy, when you dream about bad things happening, it shows you're still fighting.
That's when you start to dream about good things. You should start to worry.
How many people do you think are still alive?
In the world? Not very many. It is cold and growing colder as the world slowly dies. No animals have survived, and all the crops are long gone.
I won't survive another winter here.
Yeah, keep moving. Head south to the coast.
The roads are peopled by gangs looking for food.
Babies and stuff. So
That boy looks hungry.
You look at him again.
Yeah, not a good one to end on.
I don't think you killed a man in your life.
They're gonna catch up with us.
All right.
They're going to kill us.
I told you I would do it, whatever it takes.
Like what?
I'll kill anyone who touches you, because that's my job. It's like it used to be when the sun came out.
Keep them warm. You go south.
Are we gonna die?
Everything depends on reaching the coast. If there is a God up there, he would have turned his back on us by now. You're carrying the fire.
What fire?
Fire inside you. You're not gonna quit.
This felt like Arcadian because I think that whole there's something about the parent-child dynamic.
Yeah.
In survival movies like that.
Well, it's easy to understand too.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a very good reason why you're going to protect someone.
Because they're your own flesh and blood.
Yeah.
And that's why I think I get really disturbed when people don't like recently with like another sad thing. Saw like 2 years ago there was a baby murdered, like 8 years by the parent. 8 months old.
Yeah,
and
there's been a few more recent ones.
Yeah, and it's like that is like the ultimate evil. Is like you're actually hurting your own flesh and blood. How can you do that? So I kind of get really,
So we're going to end on a happy note.
We are,
Babies.
and this is and this is how we're going to end it with Buckaroo Banzai.
There's something over there.
Cult movie, and
Right there.
and good money in it.
Buckaroo Banzai. It's the latest issue.
Got it!
Buckaroo, President's on line 1 calling about is everything okay with the alien spacecraft from Planet 10, or should he just go ahead and destroy Russia?
Tell him yes on 1 and no on 2.
Which was yes, destroy Russia or number 2?
Stop John Warpen before sunset.
I'm not ready for this.
So what? Big deal.
Space monsters, my ass.
Where do you think you're going, Dr. Moon?
No. Planet 10.
Planet 10.
All these people applied for Social Security cards in the same town in New Jersey, exact same date.
They all got the same first name. John.
These are Martian names: John Webb, John Fat Eating, John Icicle Boy.
John Smallberries? It's a joke.
Martians in New Jersey.
John Bigwood, officer. Head of operations, Yoyodyne Propulsion Systems.
All right.
Hey, one of our birds. Yeah? That fellow over there, one of your birds, too? Droid, you mean? Let's cover this guy up.
Nice night, huh?
3-man thermal pod.
Thermal what? RATS. Top secret.
You ever thought about joining me full time?
What do you mean? You're serious? You have an opening? Can you sing? A little? Yeah, I can dance.
Perhaps John Parker will get through with our message to Buckaroo Banzai.
There is no time.
Who are you really trying to kill last night?
Buckaroo Banzai.
Let her out. She's a killer.
No, she's not. And give her your coat.
Name's Reno. Reno. It's an honor. Where do you hail from, Doc? New Jersey. Fort Lee.
Hey, where are your spurs at?
Was he making fun of me?
Hey, buddy. Of course it's me, you fool. Who do you think? Haven't you heard? Donny Washington B. Banzai and Nikita have done it.
This is Control. IMU alignment complete. We show 8 degrees, 36 minutes, 0.32 seconds north. 5, 4, 2, 1, and take off.
He's headed for the mountains. Buckaroo, do you read?
Advise you aboard, over. Repeat, advise you cancel phase 2.
What the hell's phase 2?
Just be cool.
Eject, Buckaroo! Eject!
It's off my scope.
Calling all Blue Blaze irregulars in the Garden State. Buckaroo in trouble.
This is Scooter Lindy. Junior Blue Blaze irregular, 41 and a half. Hang on. Dad, Buckaroo's in trouble.
Say what?
Launch thermal pod.
The trailer's been 9 minutes long. What the hell?
Must be a fan-made one.
Is it hour 43 minutes? You're right. So yeah, do give it a go, guys. I mean, something interesting, something.
If you want something different,
definitely, yeah. But thanks for joining in. We will see you next time, whatever time that is. But we'll, thank you, and wherever you are, be well, be safe. Do you want to finish off with something, or
no? Just buy my comic.
Yeah, do check out Chronicles of the Wasteland, and
third one will be out in a couple of weeks. I'll post it up on Art of Evans on Facebook and Instagram, and hopefully it will be at some of the Armageddons and stuff around the country.
And all our links for Plungecast and comics and stuff, it's right at the top there. Do check it out. It's Plungecast and say it on Linktree. Should do that as well. Linktree.com. Put all your links there, so then you can just share it, and you don't have to worry about reposting your links every time. So once again, thank you for joining us, and wherever you are, be well, be safe, good morning, good evening, and all that stuff. As I always say, if you've got a loved one close by, give them a hug and a kiss, let them know that you care. A nice little word would be would be something that would make somebody's day, make their day or evening, whatever, because you don't know what people are going through right now. Of course, if they're not close by, use social media, man. Phone call, whatever. Just let people know, because I kind of I've thought about someone last year and didn't follow up on it, and next thing, they went away for good.
Man, you can't end on a high note, can you?
I'm sorry, but I just, because I want you guys to appreciate the value of life and entertainment and good stories. And this is why we do this show. I do the show. That's why, we watch movies, because we want to be entertained. That's why we create art and comic books. That's why we tell stories, because it's a way of sharing our moments. And that's what I'm keen on for you guys to do, is share your moments with us. Share, in the comments, leave it, let us know what movies you watched after watching this. And if anything we said, made you want to go watch the movie or try it out, and whether you found it interesting, or leave your thoughts about those movies if you watched it after we said it, or even if it had nothing to do with us, recommend some movies, because we don't have all the answers to everything that's out there, because there's millions of movies out.
And so what do you think the next topic will be for the next one? Any idea?
I'll let you. Do you want to choose something?
I'll try and come up with something this week. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So you're going to come back next week?
Yep. Give it a go. As long as I'm not busy, I'll be here.
Awesome.
So
Awesome.
It's a very,
well, there we go.
Very non-committal.
It's good enough for me. All right, guys. Thank you. Be well, man. Have a good time. Good day, good week. Ka kite anō.